23. And the fifth being the Tulane win. And I don't think they're ranked right now. I think they fell out of the rankings. They might be. I don't know. I don't pay much attention to rankings early in the year. So as he auditions for the Alabama job, and there's no doubt that he's auditioning for the Alabama job, the question is, can he win the big games? I mean, the really big games. Can he win those games? To help set up this week's game, Jake Thompson from OM Spirit on 3, covering the Rebels, is coming up in a few minutes. Now, your phone lines are open. The number is 256-5764-977. You can text the show at 732-9TA-SHOW, 732-982-7469. Let me know whether or not you want an NFL game or two in there, or whether you want me to go all college, including that Colorado-Oregon game. Bama Ace hit the text window. He said all college will be his choice. He's going to try and get in. We'll see how he does. See if he can do it. You can watch the show on X. My personal feed is at Thom Abraham Show. The station's feed is at 97.7. Do I have to say X, formerly Twitter? Because right now they're still writing that. X, formerly Twitter. Grumpy is upset that Wes Neighbors is our guest picker. He said an in-house personality is not a guest picker. Wes, really? Get the mayor, get a city council. We will. Why even do it if he's in? Because he's Wes Neighbors. He's former All-American offensive lineman for the Crimson Tide. I mean, come on. He's grumpy. He's just so grumpy. He's just grumpy about everything. At our Facebook page, which is at 97.7 ESPN, you can get all kinds of great information about what's coming up this week. You can also find the link to our YouTube channel, WZZN TV, and get the app, because we got another big Friday night coming up for you this week. We got 4 games on the network. Sparkman hosts Grissom on air and primary feed with the Abraham boys on that one. Sparkman is very good. Will Grizz go to Sparkman to see the first half of that game? On Zone 2, it's Madison Academy at Danville. Madison Academy is also very good. Steve Moulton and Glenn Laird have that. On Zone 3, might be the most competitive game of the weekend, Randolph and Westminster. Nice little rivalry there. Bailey Lowry, Drew to Armin on that. And on Zone 5, John Boy Dewey Magoo and I have the game of the week from Joe Davis Stadium, Bob Jones and Huntsville High in a 7A game. Would it be the end of the world as we know it to work a little baseball in here? Can I just say something? Ronald Acuna jacked 2 more home runs last night and has 39 now to go with his 67 stolen bases. He's about to join a 40-40 club that has 3 juicers and Alfonso Soriano in it. Jose Canseco, Alex Rodriguez, and Barry Bonds are the others. Furthermore, Canseco's 43 steals is the high watermark in the 40-40 club. And Parkway Jose was the only one of the 4 that was named MVP, tainted as it was. We're looking at 40-70 here with Acuna. He's just created his own, they're like the 40-40 club, the 30-30 club, the 20-20 club, the Acuna club. They just call that the Acuna club. 40-70. Get the heck out of here with that. Wait till the kid grows up. He might go 50-70. He'll go 50-50. I'm going to tell you right now, Ronald Acuna will have 50-50, and he'll stop stealing bases. Be like, nah, I'm done with that. He's going to go 50-50. Not this year, but sometime he'll do it. Beyond that, the Braves offense is maybe the greatest in the history of the game. And I got the numbers to back it up. No, I have them in here. I got the numbers to back them up. They maybe have the greatest offense in the history of the game. Now, here's the caveat. Cover your ears, Grizz. Only 13 times since divisional play began in 1969. That's 54 years ago. Only 13 times has the team with the best record in baseball Actually won the World Series. The last time was the Red Sox in 2018. As you know, I completely tossed out the 60-game tournament in 2020. Forget about that. But last year, remember, the Dodgers, 111 wins. Didn't win. Giants had 107 in 21. Didn't win. Astros had 107 in 2019. Didn't win. Braves are going to have like 104, 105 wins this year. Just going to lead the league. But the playoffs, man, it's a whole other deal. Remember the Mariners in 2001? 116 wins. Nothing. The Indians in 54 had 114 wins in a 154-game season, got swept by the Yankees. Remember 98? The Braves won 106 games. They won the division by 18 games in 98. Lost to the Yankees in the World Series. I'm just saying. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just saying. All right, over there in that little glass room with the slanted ceiling, playing the platters that matter, the stacks of wax, answer the phones, keep it on the air. Throwing up a little bit in his mouth now that I've said that. Probably pissed at me now. DJ Grizzly Grizz.
Who in the blue hell are you? What is your name? Detective. It doesn't matter what your name is.
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and polish.
I think this is one of the traits of a really good producer. Keep the talent happy.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
That Thom. Hey, Thom.
Testosterone high today. Testosterone, whatever the it is.
It really doesn't matter what you think. It really doesn't matter what you say.
Any of you play sports?
Don't shoot the messenger, Grizz.
Oh, come on.
Come on. Don't shoot the messenger. It is what it is.
No, I'm used to this by now as an Atlanta fan. I mean, you can go up 28-3 in football and lose, a Super Bowl. You can be a number one seed in the East in basketball and get swept in the Eastern Conference Finals. You know what I mean? Yeah. You could do these types of things like the Braves are doing. You could possibly hit 300 home runs and have 100 steals in a season and still get put out in the first round. So, there's always that. But I mean, I'm excited. I'm just enjoying the regular season, enjoying this time as a Braves fan. I'm a baseball guy. We've talked about this plenty of times before. I love what I'm seeing. I love these new rules too. Whether this is the reason why that these Braves are doing it, but man, outside of just having just everything they do, they just continue to break records in the MLB, and it's just the rules, insanely crazy team.
The rules don't have anything to do with the fact that they got 9 players that are going to hit 20 home runs.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that'll be the first in ever. They've already got 4 players to hit 35 home runs. They might have 5.
Well, it's 5. They tied the Twins from 2019, so I don't know if they'll get to 6.
Do they have, well, they were the first to get to 4. Do they have 5
Albie's hit his 30th or his 31st, I think it was a couple days ago.
No. You didn't listen to me. Okay? Because you don't listen to the show. Like my son-in-law. They're the first with 4 to reach 35. Not 30, 35. And Albies is going to get to 35 possibly. So that will make it 5 if he gets there. 35, not 30. 35. First in history to have 35.
That's my fault. I didn't listen. That's my fault.
I know.
I was getting too crazy.
I know.
Into it.
You're getting excited. Don't let the facts get in the way of a good story. They're only one of 4 teams in baseball history to have a player with 50 home runs and another with 50 steals. Because Matt Olson has 52 home runs. They have the highest slugging percentage in the first inning since the history of baseball. I mean, it's only been 154 years. I mean, it's if you can jump on a team early like that, they're 322 average in the first inning. Jason Stark says that in the first inning, they are an entire team of 1961 Henry Aaron's. Henry Aaron slashed 327, 381, 574, 594 in the first inning. That's on base. That's average on base and slugging. The Braves are, as a team, are 322, 384, and 595 in the first inning. The whole team is Henry Aaron in his prime in the first inning. mean, that's a thing, man. That's a thing. But, come playoff time, short series and all that kind of stuff, you just don't know. Guys are hitting the text window hard. All college, give me the Fighting Deons. Seems like everybody wants all college here. LSU Lynch says all college. What do you think, Grizz? I mean, do we bother even? I mean, it's such a good
I think we should
college.
Put some NFL, just saying.
You think?
It's just the.
What do you think about West being? What do you think about Grumpy's complaint? He's lodged an official complaint with the doghouse.
He's not one of the celebrity pickers. That's why.
Well, he might be who knows? He might be the picker. He could be the listener picker.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a really good.
I like his idea, though. There's plenty of people out there that we can ask, but I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't think Wes wouldn't be one of the early on guests. We have tons of picks. We have tons of picks to do. He's
a celebrity.
Yeah.
I want to have Drew in there someday, picking. We love Drew. Drew's like a cartoon character. We want to get him in there. And we'll ask the mayor. We'll reach out to old Tommy.
I don't know if he's got. I mean, he could probably put us in our schedule.
Well, he'll stick it in there for us. So we'll do it for us. Yeah. We're gonna ask Kyle Wright, but he's a little busy right now. Braves pitcher Kyle Wright. We'll ask him. We got guys. We got a list. All right. It's a really good college schedule though this weekend. It's really good. All right, let's get a break. When we come back, Jake Thompson of OM Spirit on 3 joining us to talk a little Ole Miss heading into, well, really the third big Lane Kiffin, what do you got game? Next, right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
There's nothing like the freedom you feel when you're on the water in your own boat from Freedom Marine in Guntersville. New or used, Freedom Marine has just the boat to make your time on the water the best it can be. Pontoons, fishing, ski boats, you name it. And all season long, Freedom Marine is giving away 4 packs of Alabama football tickets. Just log on the Freedom Marine Facebook page and like, share, and comment to be eligible. New and used boats, outboard sales, financing, service, and parts. It's Freedom Marine. Highway 431 in Guntersville and online at freedommarincenter.com.
Thom Abraham here for my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
Gunner's Landing is one of the Tennessee Valley's finest golf experiences. Just 35 minutes from downtown Huntsville, Gunner's Landing's 18-hole championship Jewel is open to the public 7 days a week. Located in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, Gunner's Landing offers you a golf experience like no other. With beautiful Lake Gunnersville views throughout the round, Gunner's Landing is golf the way nature intended. Gunner's Landing's club repair shop offers a full range of services, including re-gripping and adjusting the lofts and lies of your clubs, even putters. Since the work is done in-house, your clubs will be returned to you in a timely manner. Unmatched in the North Alabama area, it is Gunner's Landing. Schedule your tee time today at gunnerslanding.com. That's gunnerslanding.com.
The new favorite place for delicious Mexican food is Coralejos Mexican Grill in Huntsville. Check out their reviews on Facebook and you'll see what people are raving about. Enjoy drink specials all day Monday through Thursday, like house margaritas for $3.99 and 12-ounce drafts for $2. Even vegan-friendly entrees on Monday starting at $5. Coralejos Mexican Grill, 1658 Old Monrovia Road in Huntsville. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram to stay updated on their specials.
Hello, listeners. My name is Jonathan Dunwoody, and I own Minuteman Press. We are a full-service print shop that is locally owned and operated. I have personally been handling direct mail for over 17 years and have a great relationship with the USPS. We are the only print shop in the area that is listed as a print provider on their website and the only printing franchise that can use their logo as our partner on marketing materials. We can help from conception to design, print, and delivery to the post office. And with our easy, secure online payment option, you don't even need to leave your office. Minuteman Press, we're not just putting ink on paper, we're building relationships.
Next time you're online looking for landscaping inspiration, open Instagram and check out Southern Gent Landscaping. They can help make your yard your dream outdoor oasis. Southern Gent Landscaping can handle it all, from landscape maintenance and installation to irrigation and hardscapes, even AstroTurf. Turn your yard into a landscape you'll be proud to show off. Call Southern Gent Landscaping at 256-509-6088. 509-6088. Southern Gent Landscaping. Professional landscaping performed with satisfaction guaranteed.
With us today, Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville.
When we evaluate a patient and they indeed have significant venous disease, most third-party payers, private insurance, Medicare, require us to treat every patient conservatively at least 90 days. Conservative treatment includes increasing ambulation, elevation of the legs, and the wearing of compression stockings. It's very common for folks to come see us in March or April wanting to have their veins fixed before they go into swimsuits starting in June. When we see someone in March or April, they're going to require at least 90 days of conservative treatment before we can even go to the insurance carrier to get permission to treat their veins. So if you think you have a venous problem, now is the time to come in and get a free screening so we can determine whether or not you need something evaluated. If you have a vein problem or you think you may have a vein problem, now's the time to contact us at bestveincarehuntsville.com.
Kevin Harlan here from Westwood One, inviting you to join me and Hall of Fame quarterback Kurt Warner every Monday this season. It's Westwood One's 45th year of bringing you primetime NFL games, and the schedule is packed with great matchups. Plus, you'll hear Rich Eisen from the studios with interviews and the latest news around the NFL. Don't miss any of the action every week on Monday Night Football.
This is Eli Gold, voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Join us every week for Alabama football right here.
Listen to Alabama football all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Thom Abraham Show. Segment of the show is brought to you by North Alabama Mortgage. Whether you're listening in Alabama or Tennessee or Florida, North Alabama Mortgage has you covered for all your mortgage needs. Who knows? Maybe Georgia and Virginia. I know we get calls from there. Maybe you guys will be covered here in the not too distant future. But those of you in this region of the country, get a home valuation and see what you can do by refinancing or buying new with North Alabama Mortgage's team of experts in your corner. They'll treat you like family. They will walk you through the entire process. They're great people, and just Brian Hammaker and his whole team, they're just wonderful people. And they'll answer all the questions that you got so you feel totally comfortable with the whole deal. And you know what? You get in now, yeah, the rate may be a little higher than it was a couple of years ago, but you're not going to see that stabilized. And if the rate begins to fall at some particular point in time, you refi. And that's the end of it. No additional cash. All right, joining us now, guy who covers Ole Miss for the OM Spirit on 3, the On 3 site for Ole Miss. He is Jake Thompson, and he is on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Jake, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks, guys, for having me on.
There's an old saying, everything before now is strictly preliminary. The main event is about to begin, and when you look at Ole Miss right now, at Alabama, come home for LSU and Arkansas, go to Auburn after the bye. The main event is about to begin for this Ole Miss team, right?
Yeah. The proverbial hay is in the barn. They had their non-conference, the bulk of it, to evaluate the preseason. It's kind of what Kiffin likes to call it. And now it gets real with an Alabama game that a lot of people are feeling like it's probably the closest the two teams have been on paper in a very, very long time. Maybe in a couple of decades in terms of just looking at the matchup. So this is one that once Georgia Tech was done Saturday night, everybody flipped the page and it was, aiming towards Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, when Hugh Freeze was beating Alabama back-to-back years, that was a better Alabama team. But that was maybe a better Ole Miss team, too. But that was a better Alabama team at that particular point in time. It does beg the question for Lane Kiffin, if not now, when, right? I mean, this is his shot. He had the popcorn game a couple of years ago. Get your popcorn, and they got whooped pretty good in Tuscaloosa. And then last year, 7-0 going to LSU. That was a moment in time, right, where you could say, all right, time for Ole Miss to step up to the next to the big kids table, and they got beaten that one 45-20, and then ended up finishing 8-5. So this is that next opportunity he and the program have to elevate themselves, regardless of the fact that Alabama, isn't as highly ranked as they have been in the past.
Yeah, everybody at first when Kiffin came to Ole Miss about 4 years ago, about 4 years ago, come December, he everybody thought he is the guy that if there's a Nick Saban, former assistant, will be the first to break through, that they felt it would be him. It wasn't him, obviously. He's going to be about third or fourth now, I believe, when he gets that win. And this week does feel like the best chance. They had him on the ropes at times last year here in Oxford. They had a chance late, slipped away. I think they lost 30-24, and after in the post game, it just he said it and expressed it verbally, but you could just see it in his eyes. That was an opportunity that just fell out of the hands and squandered, and it was just kind of devastation just on his face. He didn't have to say words. You could just kind of read in the room what that game meant to him and what he thought was going to happen, and then what did happen. And like you said, that was the chance to kind of bounce back after getting that win at A&M, after getting punched in the face in Baton Rouge. Instead, they lose that one. They lose the next three in the regular season, including a close one at home at State. And then they go to a less than desirable bowl game, and that everybody knows how the Texas Tech game went. And so it started the tailspin. And so I think everybody says you don't look ahead, but I think Alabama's always circled on your schedule, even in August. And this one does feel like the chance. If not now, when is he going to get that signature win? Not just over a lot of the SEC powerhouses, but Nick Saban and Alabama in specific, because that's the one everybody kind of looks at as that's the one he needs to kind of cement whatever legacy he wants to continue building while here at Ole Miss, is to get that win and build on it. And it's murderer's row. It's the SEC West. They go Alabama, home against LSU, home against Arkansas, where that game's crazy no matter who's good, who's bad. That one always seems to be wild and wacky. And so you got 3 games here to kind of see what that ceiling is going to be this year. Is it going to be higher than Texas Bowl, or is it going to be about the same? And it starts on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And Kiffin, I am a Kiffin fan, by the way. I like Lane Kiffin. I think that he has done wonderful things with his career over the last 5 or 6 years, kind of going from being a little goofball to being a legit big-time college football coach. But his record against top 25 teams is abysmal. I mean, when they beat Tulane, I think that was his 5th win against the top 25 team. Now they've fallen out of the top 25. But that's the thing that's got to be hanging around his neck. I think he was 4-25 or 4-23 coming into this season in big games. How does the fan base feel about Lane Kiffin's ability to win these big ones?
Yeah, I think this was their first ranked win with Kiffin at Ole Miss. You can't really count the Outback Bowl against Indiana just because that was a neutral site game, but kind of out of the season. But this was their first ranked win as Kiffin in the regular season, or with Kiffin. And after all that, will he go to Auburn? Will he not? All that drama of the week leading up to the Egg Bowl and a little bit after that, and then got the contract, stayed. But all that just, he lost a little bit of favor, as I think any coach would, of a high profile who kind of lets that get how it got, kind of a soap opera type way, with reports coming out, him having to deny, and players wondering, having meetings, so that kind of put a sour taste in fans' mouth, or certain parts of the fans' mouth, especially paired with how the season ended. He gets the contract, and we all know what he's making now. It's out there. So that lofted up the expectations of the fans on him. And, yeah, this is the year he's kind of, the theme of all this, that he's got to get those wins to kind of show he is the guy, the right one to get Ole Miss to where, they're not just going to get a win over Alabama, every 8 years at Tuscaloosa, or, even longer than that, where he's going to have them consistently contenders with the rest of the SEC. And, yeah, this is the big one. I think it's bigger than the other two coming up. I'm talking about LSU and even Georgia down the road this season. This is the biggest one.
Jake Thomas with us here from OM Spirit on 3 Site for the Rebels. Talk to me a little bit about Jackson Dart, because when Spencer Sanders came in, I think there was a thought that a lot of people thought that Sanders was coming in and would be handed this job and it was going to be his gig. And then, of course, Walker Howard is there as well, the former LSU recruit that had, they had them dancing, remember, back in the day there, I think. And but he comes in as well, providing a lot of competition. But Jackson Dart holds them off and is having a great start to the season.
Yeah, everybody's kind of comparing him to Matt Corral of what Matt did his first year with Kiffin, then that second-year jump with Kiffin where they got to the Sugar Bowl and the massive numbers he put up. People were kind of looking at that. And the thing is, Dart last year he put up numbers similar to Corral's second year. So everybody was thinking, well, this Dart's second year is going to be even bigger. And it has started off great. And, of course, with Judkins not really getting going in the run game, you had Trey Harris transfer, looked like he was going to be kind of Dart's number one guy out wide, goes down early at Tulane, don't have him against Georgia Tech. So these last 2 games, Dart has kind of just put the team on his back, figuratively and literally, especially on Saturday where he, I think, led the team, had the game high in rushing yards, 100-yard game. And so he has shown what we've kind of been told and preached at by him and teammates and Kiffin in the offseason and fall camp of the maturity on the field and playbook, that he has that grasp of how things need to be, how it needs to go, and he's not as kind of frantic at times learning a playbook in these high-level games at the same time, a trial by fire. And Dart has just looked more composed in the pocket. I know the offensive line hasn't been great these first 3 games. He's kind of had to scramble and make some plays himself, but when that line is held and he's got the chance to make reads, he's looked immensely more comfortable than he did last year in that same kind of situation.
Neither one of these teams are running the ball the way they want to run the ball, especially with their running backs. I mean, we've seen Jalen Milroe in the 2 games that he started. He had some big runs, and you mentioned Dart with 136 yards against Georgia Tech, led the team in rushing. But they want to line up, knock people off the ball, use their running backs to actually run the ball some. But the difference right now is the fact that Ole Miss is throwing the ball for 350 yards a game. That's 9th in the entire country. While Alabama, it's a stunning number, 106 yards a game, which is 100th out of 133 teams in the country, 100th in passing a game, or in the passing game. For your standpoint, when you look at it, what are the keys here if Ole Miss is going to pull this off?
Yeah, and we found out Monday that Milroe will be the guy. Saban put that to bed, I think, by lunchtime on Monday, so you didn't have that. Will it be one of 3 guys, or which 3 will you see? Now, don't know how the game's going to go, so you could see, one of the other 2, but Milroe's the guy, and he is that dual threat. And so I think this defensive front that's new, kind of new scheme with former Alabama coordinator and new Ole Miss coordinator Pete Golding, they've got to find a way to contain Milroe. I think that's the key. I know it's kind of the same song every year with the Alabama team. You got to stop the quarterback, but I think Milroe's he's going to come out motivated, kind of a chip on his shoulder. I know he did things the right way, handled himself the right way down in Tampa, and that South Florida game with how he kind of helped his teammates and cheered on the other 2 guys. But I've got to think with how the Texas game went and getting the chance again this week in the first SEC game, he's going to be immensely motivated, and I think you've got to stop him because as you threw out those numbers, and I looked at them too, this Alabama team relative to Nick Saban Alabama teams, just in that scope, is a very mortal Alabama team. And as of this point, now we know Saban can wave his wand and they get back to where they're going in a couple of weeks, where they normally are. But I think if you can control the pocket and the quarterback, Milroe, I think that's Ole Miss's best chance. Because I feel like Ole Miss will put up points. I mean, they were successful last year in putting up points. And, they had the Will Andersons and all that on that defense. So I think offense isn't the major key as much as this Ole Miss defense is going to have to be the one to kind of dictate how this game goes for them.
Only allowing 16.5 points a game for Ole Miss defensively as well, with Pete Golding in there. Who has, in your mind, who do you think has an advantage there? I mean, you can say, well, Pete Golding knows the Alabama offense, although this is Tommy Rees, but it's still the Alabama offense. He knows the offense, and he can also share a lot of information about the defense. I don't think there's any mystery to what Alabama's trying to do defensively, and Lane Kiffin coming from Alabama as well. That's the same defense that was being run when he was there. And on the other hand, you would think that Alabama, the offensive staff, and Nick Saban, they know what Pete Golding is trying to do defensively, and that's assuming that Pete Golding is trying to do the same things that they did at Alabama. Who do you think that favors, with Pete Golding now being at Ole Miss?
You look at it, and it's almost like it's a push in all those kind of categories when you put in the tail of a tape where one side cancels out the other. When you really look at it, where Golding's just a season removed from being there for 5 years, got to know a lot of the ins and outs still. A lot, before they haven't changed much. I'm sure Kiffin knows people. He knows Saban, how Saban thinks, operates, and so it's a lot of back and forth. And I think strategy-wise, gamesmanship, but I honestly think the advantage, if there is one, it'd be like a 51-49 advantage. I think goes to Ole Miss just having Golding, and now I say that, and things could be like Kiffin with the popcorn, where the popcorn was burnt before the microwave even opened, and the game's out of hand. But I think Golding gives them a little bit of that edge, and I think also they just kind of see the shine is off the armor a little bit right now, just with Alabama, with how they normally are, and catching them in September instead of catching them when they did last year in that rare November game when they have time to kind of regroup, get up off the mat, and fix themselves. You're kind of catching them at that moment where they're trying to fix themselves in the heat of the moment, line of fire of the SEC. So I think Ole Miss just has that advantage just a little bit, but it's really 50-50 the more I think about it.
And of course, we had Lane. The week opened with Lane Kiffin, tweaking the tide with his comments about who's calling the defense. Was that Lane being Lane, or do you think he was serious there? That his guys, looked at it and thought, hey, you know what? I don't think that I don't think that Kevin Steele is calling that defense right now. I think that Tavares Robertson is. I mean, what was your take on that?
It was a strange one. I think it was. I think it's always Lane being Lane a little bit with every kind of answer for that, but also, he kind of doubled down a little bit on Monday when he was asked what did they see on film up to that point on Sunday to give him that inclination, and he just felt that it was a little bit different from what he thought it would be, I guess, or what kind of the tendencies that Robinson might have in a defense and calling plays or running setup. And, I think it was a little bit of poking the bear, stirring a hornet's nest, so to speak. It was doing the popcorn without doing it 2 seconds before the game starts, and so it gives them a week to kind of let that go. Now, I think that's always the risk of Lane throwing stuff out there. Is it for anybody more times than not, it's going to come back to bite you more than it will not bite you. But I do think there was more something to some form of legitimacy to what he saw or what he put out there than just him throwing out a quirky line or a soundbite.
And finally, is there a thought or a fear even that, we want to take the next step with Lane Kiffin? Oh, great. We took the next step with Lane Kiffin. He's gone. I mean, you mentioned what happened with the Auburn deal, and you just wonder. I know a lot of Alabama fans don't want to see him back in Tuscaloosa, but, the attitude might be different if all of a sudden, Ole Miss won the SEC West and you looked at Lane Kiffin differently. And, so is there a thought there where the fans, whether it's the NFL, whether it's Alabama someday, or whether it's whatever, a thought that if they really do get it going good, that he'll be gone?
I think there's always that other foot waiting to be dropped kind of mentality or attitude for people, especially with Lane, because, I was one of them, not in a negative light. I just felt when they hired him that, all right, this is his kind of stepping stone recovery job, rehab job of his coaching profile. And if he gets Ole Miss going on the right track after a couple of years, he'll probably get some phone calls. Now, he has gotten phone calls, and, whether or not he wanted to go really bad or whatever the case was, he's still here. And I know he's got more ties to Oxford now than he did 4 years ago. His daughter here, his family seems to really like Oxford, and they kind of want to keep that support system in place. So there's more thought to, or this train of thought, that he's probably here for a little bit more of a longer haul. But I just think at the end of the day, it's a shorter, longer haul than like a Saban finding it and creating something long term as like that, or some of the other great coaches throughout history. I do think at some point he will go. I know Alabama's always the first one people throw up there, is that's the one he's waiting on, or he's, you got the theories of he's already the one in waiting, just waiting for the phone call where Saban says I'm done, however far down the road that is. But yeah, I think Alabama is the one everybody would go to if stuff starts chirping, or if they win this year and have success, and Alabama kind of has a pedestrian year for Alabama. I think that'll just ramp up even more come the end of the season or through the winter.
Excellent stuff. Jake Thompson has been our guest. Jake, we appreciate you. Let the folks know how they can follow you on the socials.
It's at Jake Thompson on 3. That's how you can find me, or just through the OM Spirit on Twitter or X, whatever we're supposed to call it now. And It's omspirit.com is our website. You can find all our Ole Miss stuff there.
Beautiful stuff. I appreciate you joining us. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, y'all. Appreciate it.
All right, we're gonna get a break in here. I got Grumpy giving me crap. I got guys giving me crap about wanting to call into the show when I said the phones will be open. And Grizz, I'm under attack. I'm under attack by my own people.
Yeah, I just want to go ahead and apologize to the Philip. I told him I could get him on. It just didn't happen.
The dogs are turning on me. Is that the Philip?
They're free range dogs. So
was that Philip? It's just they're just turning on me. All right, we'll come back. You know what we're gonna do when we come back? Open up the phone lines. That's right. Phone lines are open when we return. 256-576-4977. If you want to get into the show, this is the time to do it. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Do you want your next party to be something you'll remember? Then head on down to Flosa Premier to book your next big bash. Birthday? Corporate meeting? Maybe just a family reunion so you can get your cousin Kyle back into the basketball court so you can beat him at basketball. I don't have no idea. Flow is fun for all ages looking for high-flying excitement, arcade fun, and tasty snacks to satisfy your hunger. Whether you have 10 friends or 25, Flow is jam-packed with something fun for everyone. Get jumping with Flow off South Parkway in Drake or head over to flowhuntsville.com to book your next party now.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
The End Zone Sports Bar has done it again. This time, they're bringing their jumbo wings, handcrafted burgers, Tex-Mex, and New York-style pizza to the Midtown District with their new location on McMurtry Drive Northwest opposite the Target Plaza. Tuesdays at the End Zone means half-price burgers, and Wednesday is $1 jumbo wings all day long. The End Zone also features Sunday ticket for all your NFL viewing. The newest End Zone Sports Bar in the Midtown District on McMurtry near the Target Plaza. Get in the End Zone.
Did you know that Valley Equipment Rental also specializes in day and weekend rentals to homeowners? The weekend rentals is by far the best deal that they offer. If you pick up after 2 on a Friday or anytime Saturday morning, it's not due in until Monday morning before 8 a.m. for a one-day charge. For a small fee, Valley can even haul anything they carry. Valley has extremely experienced and knowledgeable staff that can help you decide what size machine you need or what type of machine you need to get your job done like a pro. They have all the big items that the contractors need for their jobs, but they also carry the small tools that can help you with your DIY project. More importantly, Valley is locally owned and operated, which means when you have an issue, you can get someone on it right away, right here in the Valley. Heck, ask for Ross Roberts, the owner, if you like. Try calling one of the big box national outlets and ask for the owner. That's if you could even get through the automation. Buy local. Buy Valley Equipment Rental. Valley Equipment Rental has 2 locations, one on the North and South Parkway. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. If you've been injured and need a lawyer right now, and pick up the phone to call, you know, one you've seen on a billboard or on TV begging for your business, do you know who you really get?
I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. You want to talk to your lawyer. You don't want to reach a call center, not in some office 100 miles away. With the Lackey Law Firm, that never happens. My clients talk to me.
And me. I'm attorney Justin Lackey. We're the ones that you talk to. We're the ones that you meet with.
And we're the ones who handle your personal injury case. You want to talk to me? You just call me.
And we'll take care of it. You worry about getting well. We'll take care of the rest.
The Lackey Law Firm.
And I'll go you one better. If you can't come to us, we'll come to you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
The Huntsville Sports Commission is responsible for bringing high-level sports entertainment to the Rocket City. In 2023, enjoy events like the CCSA Beach Volleyball Championships, Hometown Lenders Championship, UCI Paracycling Road World Cup, and so much more. To learn more about upcoming events and the Huntsville Sports Commission, visit huntsvillesports.com. The Huntsville Sports Commission. We do sports.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Philip Love of not only Eagle Insulation, now he represents Eagle Companies. Eagle through the years have added several companies to help individuals or builders through their construction renovation process. Eagle is known to represent quality, efficiency, and professionalism. Philip, I know you do insulation, but do you do masonry?
We do.
Do you do grading, erosion control, and dirt hauled off?
We do.
Do you do afterpaint, which includes shower doors, mirrors, shelving blinds, and bath hardware?
Yes, we do, Wes.
Do you do landscaping and irrigation?
Yes, we do.
So basically, Eagle can help you all along your process of building your house or doing renovations. So do you do plumbing?
We do not, Wes, but we can find somebody to do it.
Just give them time. They'll be there. Anyway, call Eagle Insulation at
256-755-1556.
Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. Call Eagle today.
Thanks, Wes.
Each week, check out our latest zone deal online at 977ESPN.com.
I'm eating good food.
We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
It's Carlos Santana is brought to you by the good friends at TOC. Use the orthopedic specialist that pretty much every high school in the region uses. That's TOC Sports. Alabama A&M and the Huntsville Havoc rely on TOC as well, but it doesn't have to be a sports injury. It could be a work accident. Maybe you're just breaking down a little bit. TOC has the right specialist for you. If they got somebody to help with this crick I got in my neck. North Alabama's largest sports medicine provider is TOC Sports. Stay in the game with TOC Sports. All right, now phones are open. All right, and I understand people have stuff to do. I apologize to Greg Screws. We couldn't get him in from Channel 19, and I thought you said he get Greg. Oh, is that what you said? I thought you said I can't understand what you're right. I thought you said he was on. I thought you said he says calls in all the time. I thought you meant he was on.
No. I was just saying, like, I was just typing.
Yeah,
that would be a good guess. Like, I was just
Greg's Cruise would be good for.
You were talking about it.
All right, so Philip, I know guys have jobs. People are doing things, and they can't always stay. But if you want to get back in, this is the time to do it. 256-576-4977. There's a rhythm. You know what I mean? There's a rhythm to the show. I got to do the monologue. I have to set up the entire show. That's my spot. My spot's that first segment. It's my spot to get loose, give you some of the thoughts that I'm thinking, some of the things I'm thinking about. Okay? And then usually, if we have a first hour guest, it comes in the next segment. Then I open up the phone lines. Always have a guest at the top of the one, and then we're open lines the rest of the show. So there's a little bit of a rhythm to it. You just can't stop in the middle of a thought. Hey, wait a minute. You know, like if you're in the middle of an interview or something like that. I mean, let me stop because so-and-so's on the line. I have my spot. Our guests have their spot. And then the callers have their spot. See? So we all have a role to play in this thing. We all have a job to do to make this show work. The NFL has announced the AFC and NFC Players of the Week. Josh Allen is the offensive player of the week, 274 yards, 3 touchdowns, 124.5 passer rating against the Raiders. This is typical Josh Allen. Josh Allen, he'll go to Jacksonville, lay an egg, or he'll go to New York Jets and lay an egg. And then the next week, he's the offensive player of the week. Consistency is the problem with Josh Allen. This is the 11th time he's been the player of the week for Josh Allen. He was the player of the week last year 4 times. Your defensive player of the week, Alonzo Highsmith from the Steelers. He had that 30-yard interception for a touchdown on a gift play, the first play of the game. Everybody said, well, it's all on the tight end. You know, it wasn't on Deshaun Watson. A little bit on Deshaun Watson. That was not a good pass. The tight end had to make a big-time adjustment to that ball. Harrison Bryant, he reached back. He tipped it up in the air. He could have caught it. There's no doubt he could have caught it, but it would have been easier to catch if you hit him right between the 8 and the 8. It was deflected right to Highsmith. He ran down the field for 30 yards and a touchdown. Later in the game, sealed the game for him with a forced fumble sack on Deshaun Watson, who's a turnover machine right now. Scoop and score by T.J. Watt. And Highsmith is the player of the week. Special teams player of the week is Titans kicker Nick Folk. And he is the second kicker in NFL history to earn the player of the week honor with 4 different teams. He's done it with Dallas, the Jets, the Patriots, and now the Titans. 4 different times. He had the game-winning 41-yard field goal in overtime. Defensively, DeAndre Swift. I picked him up in the fantasy. 175 yards rushing, 6.3 yard per carry average, and a rushing touchdown in their win. Micah Parsons, defensive player of the week. He's like the defensive player of every week in the NFC, just about. 3 tackles for loss in the game, couple of sacks, forced fumble return or fumble recovery. Just ridiculous. He is the 4th Penn State player to win defensive player of the week 3 times. Shane Lee has done it. Tamba Hall has done it. Cameron Wade has done it. And the special teams player was Bucs punter Jake Camarada. 3 punts inside the 20 and a 72-yard punt. So there you go. Your NFL players of the week. All right. We're going to have some sound for you a little bit later on. Hopefully we can get it in. Nick Saban, we'll see what Saban said at the teleconference. If there's anything significant there, we'll get it to you unless it was just coach speak. A lot of times it's just coach speak. But if you got anything good there, we will certainly get that in there. By the way, let me slip this other NFL note in here. And Grizz, this goes back to the lines. A lot is being made about the Rams' decision to kick a field goal as time ran out and what became a 7-point loss to the 49ers. I'm sure that you saw this. Yep. Everybody going nuts is thinking it was sketch, right? Because it was the line was 7.5. Yeah. And with 3 seconds left on the clock, Sean McVay kicks a field goal. Make it go from a 10-point game to a 7-point game. And everybody's losing their ever-loving minds. Coach is aware of the point spread. He's trying to cover for their fans, which, by the way, I think some coaches do that. But point differential is part of the tie-breaking procedures for the playoffs. The media went nuts, and the fans went nuts, and nobody is reporting the fact that point differential is part of the tiebreaker procedure.
I can see that, yeah.
It's a legit thing.
Yeah, no, I can see a coach like having that in his head, but like everybody else outside of it wouldn't. Yeah, I can see that.
Tiebreaker number 7 for 2 clubs that are tied. Best combined ranking among conference teams in points scored and points allowed in all games. Number 8, best combined ranking among all teams in points scored and points allowed in all games. Point number 9, tiebreaker number 9, best net points in common games. This is a divisional game. Went from a 10-point loss to a 7-point loss. Net points. Tiebreaker number 10, best net points in all games. 4 of the tiebreakers have to do with net points and points allowed and points scored. Shut up! He didn't do it to cover. All right, I'm glad I got that on my chest. All right, we'll be back.
This is SportsCenter. I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news from ESPN's Adam Schefter. The Browns are bringing back running back Kareem Hunt in the wake of the season-ending injury to All-Pro Nick Chubb. Agreed to a one-year deal worth up to $4 million. Hunt will now team up with featured running back Jerome Ford in Cleveland. LSU starting safety Greg Brooks was diagnosed last week with a brain tumor, underwent surgery Friday to remove the mass. According to a statement from his family, the surgery to remove the large brain tumor was successful. They're awaiting the results of a biopsy. Brooks missed Saturday's game with what Coach Brian Kelly called a medical emergency. No timeline for Brooks's return. 3 U.S. senators introducing a bill that would award the Congressional Gold Medal to Billie Jean King, the Tennis Hall of Famer and activist who was a driving force behind the creation of the Women's Pro Tour, and equal prize money for men and women.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Football season and Bad Daddy's Burger Bar. The perfect combination of good times and great food. This season, score big with one of our chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness. Our delicious burgers are made with premium Angus beef, and you can pair it with one of our signature cocktails or a cold craft beer from our huge selection. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar on the Parkway in Huntsville and our new location at Cliff Farm, Highway 72 in Madison. These days, saving time is important, and saving money is even more so. That's where Eagle Masonry and Insulation comes in. Over the years, Eagle has expanded their services to meet the needs of folks like you in our area. If you're ready to lower your utility bills, Eagle can insulate your home and help you save money with fiberglass, spray foam, and cellulose insulation, and can help you decide what's best for your project. Call Eagle Masonry and Insulation today at 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time, and Eagle saves you money.
Sitting here with Mark Kent of Southern Fidelity Mortgage Group of Huntsville. Mark, do you help pre-qualify people?
We pre-qualify people all the time, Wes. As a matter of fact, I love having them coming in here because when they come in and they pre-qualify, they can leave my office knowing exactly how much they can buy and have no worries.
Mark, tell me about your rates and pricing.
Well, Wes, this is something we're really, really proud of. Long story short is, I love being able to provide the best pricing in town. Honestly, I cannot tell you the last time I lost a deal to either rate or pricing, something I'm very proud of.
So what all financing options do you have, Mark?
We do several different things. If you're purchasing a home, we can handle the purchase. If you're wanting to refinance your home, of course, rates are at the lowest they've been in the last 3 years. We do a lot of refinancing. If you're building a home, we can handle the entire process from breaking ground to the final close.
Do you sleep with your phone?
Wes, if you want to reach me, you can call me at my office phone, which is 256-562-1000. But always remember, I sleep with my cell phone at night. That number is 256-656-5936.
At Bryant Bank, we believe your goals are worth chasing, and every step along the way is worth celebrating. From your hopes for the future to the challenges that keep you up at night, we're here for you. Bryant Bankers put care into action to help you live legendary by stepping up when you need us most and doing what's right even when no one is watching. Come experience a local bank whose people greet you by name and treat you like family. Bryant Bank, member FDIC.
Online at 977ESPN.com.
Stream them online.
Call in.
It's an important job, and it's an vital organization.
Tweet in and join in. We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You need to be more like a dog. Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about. Be a dog. God bless the show. You are the Messiah. We need more dogs. This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live, here he is, the big dog, Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
And welcome back to Thom Abraham Show. This segment of the show brought to you by North Alabama Mortgage, bringing us David Moulton each and every week. Look, you guys are very argumentative today. I just want to say that. You're very argumentative today in the text window. All right? Regarding my comments just now about Sean McVay. All right? Text window. Even if he did do it to cover, so what? Shouldn't he be looking out for his fans? That wasn't my point. I do believe there were times when coaches would do stuff like that to cover. I believe that there are coaches that were aware of the line would do stuff that I'm just telling you. All my comment was that everybody is running wild with this nefarious story of him knowing the line and doing it to cover. And I'm just sharing with you that no one is taught, nobody in the media, nobody who covers, no talking heads, nobody is reporting the fact that very simply 4 of the tiebreakers for 2 teams and 3 teams, 4 of the playoff tiebreakers deal with net points and deal with total points scored or total points allowed in a game. Okay? 4 of the tiebreakers. And all I'm saying is that I'm 99.9% sure that Sean McVay was trying to narrow down the net points. That's all. And also score more points because it's part of the tiebreaker procedures. That's all. You guys are feisty. You want to fight me over everything tonight. What's going on? Yeah. David Moulton joins us now. He's on the Neighbors Wealth Management hotline. David, welcome to the show.
Not.
How are you? Oh,
no, I'm
God.
Not. I'm going to fight with you on everything.
Gosh, everybody's in an argumentative mood today. They're going to argue over everything. And
Thom.
You think Sean McVay knew the line? You think that's why he kicked the field goal because of the line?
Thom, you're missing the forest from the trees here. All right? Everyone listening to your show roots for the Vols or the Crimson Tide.
Yeah.
You're shocked they're still in a bad mood.
You're pissed off.
Thom, they're not going to be in a good mood all week. This just in. Okay? It may not even be in a good mood for the rest of this month unless things turn around here. I'm just saying. Chad's in a good mood because, he's got Falcons Braves fever.
Yeah.
Okay, so he can push other stuff to the side.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, Thom, you need to realize what you're dealing with here. Okay, a bunch of grumpy people, and they have good reason to be.
And I tried not to rain on Chad's parade by telling him that only 13 times since divisional play began in 1969, over the last 54 years, has the team with the best record in baseball actually won the World Series. It happens rarely. The last time it happened was 2018 with the Red Sox. I didn't mean to. They have an unbelievable offense. Ronald Acuna is creating his own classification. He's going to have a 40-70 year. But then I had to drop in there the fact that, don't get it's not automatic that you're going to win a World Series because you had the best record in baseball. Ask the 2001 Mariners about that, or the 98 Braves, or the 54 Indians. Anyway. How are you?
Wow. Somebody else is getting cranky here.
Well, because the
one
host...
more hour, and it just all some of your listeners line up in the parking lot. You guys get 3-point stances and take each other on.
Well, my grandson's youth league team got beat 36-0 on Saturday. Then I had to watch. Then I had to watch Alabama do that.
The only thing worse on the radio was talking about your fantasy football team. Really, your
my fantasy football team got hammered too. And then I got to watch my Browns show up with white helmets on, looking like a bunch of idiots out there with their uniform. And I got to watch a quarterback that cost me 3 first-round draft picks that can't throw the ball to the ocean.
I just went from being on your side to your listener's side. All right. You can't believe you went your grandkids' youth football team. I'm totally on the listener's side.
They haven't scored a point yet this year. They're like the Bears of football. Oh, God. I have to watch it on Saturday morning. All right, listen. I want to thank ABC and by proxy you, because you probably made the call, for not showing that injury. And Joe Buck was
really?
1,000. Yes,
I
think Joe Buck
being
is
very serious here.
1,000% right. I think Joe Buck was 1,000%, and I'm a big Dan Patrick fan. I think Dan Patrick is the best there is right now on the radio. And he's wrong on that. He said that ABC owed it to the fans to show that we did not need to see that. We know what happened. We don't need to see that gore. That we don't need to see that kid's career end.
Tom,
I mean, it's just wrong.
Now, Tom, I do wonder how much of your view is what it is because the player involved is on your favorite team.
Zero.
And it's a very okay.
It's
all
zero.
right. I'll
Honestly,
have to
zero.
take your word on it. It's funny, Tom. We actually asked that of our audience yesterday as our poll question. Did you think ESPN made the right decision to not show the Nick Chubb injury? For what it's worth, I agreed with Dan Patrick. Okay, if I was making the call, I would have said to Joe, you need to give a verbal disclaimer. This is not good. Okay, we're going to show it once and only once, and then that's it. All right, that would have been the decision I made. I'm a transparency guy. Let's treat us all like adults. And quite frankly, if you don't like it, don't look. All right.
Well, why do I got to see it? Why can't Joe describe? Joe said it was bad, and that's all I got to know is Joe said it's bad. I don't have to see that.
It was every bit as bad as the left knee injury he suffered at Tennessee. It was very much a Willis McGahee type of knee injury from 20 years ago in the championship game. It was. Yeah. It was awful. Quite frankly, another reason why I would have shown it is I think a very legitimate discussion needs to be had about the hit that Minkah Fitzpatrick put on.
Yeah,
okay.
I didn't want to go there.
That was not a tackle. Okay, that was not. There was nothing about that. That was a tackle. Now, do I think he went in there to blow up Nick Chubb's knee and career? No, I do not. Okay, but that's not a tackle. There were no arms involved there. There was very little shoulder involved there. All right, quite honestly.
Yeah.
So it's another reason why I would have shown it. For what it's worth, Tom, 73% of our audience agreed with you. And I was very surprised about that.
So I'm on record with this. It was a very public battle that I had with the Tennessean 10 years ago, 12 years ago, I guess it was maybe. They ran on their .com, and I know that would be different than showing it there, but they ran on their .com Marcus Lattimore upside down with his leg gruesomely thrown to the side, and they ran it as the cover of their .com on the sports page. And I unloaded on them because my opinion was you're using a gruesome injury to a 20-year-old kid to get clicks. And you don't need to show that to get clicks. I mean, that just wasn't, I thought it was exploitive. I thought it was wrong. So I went back and forth. I mean, it literally ended up with editors coming on the show, people calling me out, me calling them out, and everything else. I am very sensitive to the athlete getting that bad injury. Go all the way back to Joe Theismann, Lawrence Taylor. I mean, you just don't need to see it. I just don't need to see it. It's gruesome. I've seen it on the field too many times, coaching and watching it up close. I don't need to see it. So that was my opinion. I thought Joe handled it well.
And by the way, that decision was made from the truck. Okay, the producer made that call. I heard the whole conversation. Right, the injury happened. Chubb is down on the field. They showed a replay in the truck, and the producer says, "Ooh, this is bad. We're not going to show this." And I don't believe we in the booth had seen an off-camera replay yet, because I think Derek, the producer, is going through multiple replays trying to figure out which one I'm going to show, because also originally they're both down. Chubb is down, but Minkah was also down for like 20 plus seconds.
And I think he's out for a couple of games. I don't know if it was that play or it was a different play.
He came back in, he played right, and he got hurt on when he chased the running back down at the 1.
Yeah.
And didn't return to the game. Yeah.
So I then take multiple texts from friends and family. As you know, my entire family, all the way back to my grandfather, God rest his soul, Browns people. I take texts from those people. I take texts from friends. Season's over. There goes the season. Season's over. Season's over. Season's over. And then I respectfully make this point, and I made it in today or yesterday's commentary, I guess. Great running backs lead you to nothing. Love Nick Chubb. Love what Nick Chubb is all about. I love his personality. I love his leadership in the locker room. I think that'll be missed. Great running backs lead you to nothing. Derrick Henry's not winning a championship. Eric Dickerson didn't win a championship. Go back as far as you want to go. It's very rare that a running back leads you to anything. You have got to have quarterback play. It's why they're not paying these guys. And oh, by the way, the kid who came in, Jerome Ford, all he did was rip off 106 yards. So between the two of them, they had 175 yards rushing, for the Browns. It's the quarterback. They got to get 4 fixed. They got to get 4 fixed.
Yes, agreed. Okay. However, their offense was based more off of Chubb and play action off of Chubb than it was on number 4. So that's why it's a bigger loss than it would be for most teams, number 1. Number 2, that running back got 70 of those 106 yards on a play that was stopped and he reversed direction and made something out of nothing. So he basically, if you want to try to run those plays again, he'll run for 40 yards.
Well, he had a couple, though. He had a couple of good, remember? He has a couple in the fourth quarter where he rips off 9 or 10 yards right up the gut, and has a couple there. Look, quarterback. It's all about the quarterback. That kid, I don't know what's wrong with him, and this is getting really bad. 3 first-round picks and $232 million, and they'd be better off with Baker Mayfield right now and having those 3 first-round picks back.
Yes, they would. And I just listened to Rich Gannon go on a long diatribe about how bad Deshaun Watson is playing and how he desperately needs structure. And Kevin Stefanski is all about structure, and Watson is not playing within it, and how the receivers are running awful routes outside of occasionally Amari Cooper. And it's bad. And I'm not sure it gets fixed.
Yeah. I mean, Nick Saban thinks that the Browns quarterback play sucks right now.
Let's not get crazy. Let's not get crazy.
All right, so this is a seminal moment. First of all, and I want to say that I didn't even do what I said I was going to do. Monday, I said I was going to. I was very upset that the CBS. I was going to say the CBS A team is going. But here's the thing: this isn't so much about what the game is itself, and it's funny because I was listening to Chris Russo, and Gary Danielson goes on Chris Russo's show every week, and I was listening to Russo. Russo then, okay, let's get to your game, Ole Miss and Alabama. And Gary has to correct him. And Gary's like, no, we got the Big Ten game. And Russo says, you mean you're doing the Rutgers game? You thought you were doing the Rutgers-Michigan game. That's how little. And he's like, and Russo, who has no filter, says, your game is the one that's going up against Ohio State, Notre Dame. That's what I don't understand. Ohio State, Notre Dame's going to win tonight. I get that you got this deal with the Big Ten, but I can't believe sending the backup crew, which is a fine crew, but sending the backup crew to Tuscaloosa for Kiffin and Saban when you got an Alabama team that's in disarray and maybe an Ole Miss team that can finally get them. I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
Well, I can just tell you the decision was made months ago. So at the time of the decision, there was no way of knowing that Alabama was going to be this vulnerable. I don't know if that would have entered into the decision making or not. Tom, once again, and I know you and your audience don't want to hear it, okay? Here's the deal. The paperwork for the divorce has already been laid out on the table. In fact, the divorce has been finalized.
But you're still in the house. You're still living in the house.
Yes, we are. You know why? Because at the date of the SEC championship, the last kid in the house is getting married. And then the minute that wedding happens, okay, we are being escorted from the premises, okay? And we were the ones that were served the divorce papers. And we are the ones facing armed security if we don't leave. Once again, now, since this has been a 3+ year process, okay, she has gone out and found someone else that she is just waiting to marry. And so, in fact, we have gone out and found someone else that we, in fact, are going to marry as soon as the SEC championship is over. Okay. And so, therefore, we as a family, I'm assuming, made the decision. Are we honoring our future in-laws or our current in-laws who we don't speak to? Okay. And so the decision was made, send the A team to Penn State, Iowa as a sign of respect for our future family. I'm
as
guessing,
opposed to
Tom,
the big game of the day.
Tom, they did not consult with me. And there's no doubt, by the way, Tom, there's no doubt the little party that we're having is off in a room on the side, and there is going to be just an unbelievable party going on in the huge dining hall next to us. Absolutely. We're going to have 137 viewers. They're going to have 12 million. I got it. I don't know what to tell you, Tom.
That's an interesting thing you just said.
They did not, they did not consult with me.
They didn't ask you. David Moulton with us. By the way, those of you watching on the WZZN TV can see David, who is very animated today as well. All right, so.
No, I'm not.
No, I'm not. Oh, make me reach through the screen. I'll knock you right in the head. All right, let me ask you a question.
With everything you say, I want to represent your audience.
Be careful. He does this to me all the time.
Yes, I do. You said 12 million. Okay, which is interesting that you just blurted out that number. 10 million people watched Colorado State, the most watched late night game in the history of the ESPN, fifth most watched regular season game in the history of the ESPN. So let me ask you, will the number for Ohio State Notre Dame surpass the number for Colorado State, which, by the way, last year had 800,000 viewers? Will the Notre Dame Ohio State number beat that number from Colorado State?
I believe it will.
Wow.
I do. To me, Tom, the bigger question is, does Colorado-Oregon on ABC at 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central beat Ole Miss Alabama on CBS at 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central?
That'd be interesting.
I think Alabama may win because I expect Oregon to take Colorado to the woodshed. But that, to me, would be the very interesting tell. I don't believe, and this is off the top of my head, since Nick Saban arrived in Tuscaloosa, I don't ever recall Alabama being on at 2:30 Central on CBS and CBS not winning the slot.
Yeah,
so that's by proxy, who's broadcasting the game. That has nothing to do with it. That to me will be a very interesting tell as to whether or not this Alabama team people are really interested because they're teetering, or whether or not people have left them because they just don't see them as a credible national title contender at this moment in time, but also to the extent of the Coach Prime phenomenon.
No, I think Alabama is getting two list viewers now. They're still going to get their own viewers. The Alabama nation will be watching, and now you've got the people that are watching the train derail, and they can't take their eyes off of it if it's a train derailment. But by proxy, what you just said was you think that Oregon is going to house Colorado, meaning that Alabama Ole Miss will get the audience. That means you don't think that Alabama can do the same to Ole Miss in another popcorn game like 2 years ago when you were there and Alabama won 41-21.
Yeah, that was an interesting game because Ole Miss moved the ball up and down the field in between the 20s, but Lane kept going for it on fourth down in the red zone, and they kept being stopped. I think Alabama's going to win. A, they have better players. B, Ole Miss has some key injuries, including some star power offensively that I think they need because the strength of the Alabama team is defense. And I also think I think Josh Pate of 24/7 was correct. I think for the first time in Nick Saban's career, he made a decision that the locker room looked at him and said, "What the heck?" And they didn't play hard. They didn't. They did not play hard Saturday. They did not play Alabama worthy hard. And that's the first time I think that's ever happened in his tenure. It's the first time he made a decision where he lost the room. And so I think the decision at quarterback, he will get the room back. They will play very hard. And I think they'll win. I do. And, I do not think that this is a national title contending team. I don't know if I'd bet my $20 on them to go to Atlanta right now, quite frankly. I'm very torn. All right. But this reminds me a little bit, Tom. Remember the 2014 team? They lost to Ole Miss. They went to Arkansas and barely beat a bad Arkansas team, 14-13, and everybody was coming down about how Blake Sims sucked and this team sucked and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that team went to the playoff as the number one team in the country as SEC champion. I just think we need to take a breath and just let this sucker play out.
Let it play out, because especially, as I said, is when you look at the landscape right now, got a Georgia team that was trailing by 11 points and kind of scuffled their way through beating South Carolina as a 27.5-point favorite. You got a Michigan team that I said on Monday must have diabetes by now because they're playing so many cupcakes. We know nothing about that Michigan team. Got a Texas team that was 10-10 in the fourth quarter with the Cowboys, and I don't mean the Dallas Cowboys, the Wyoming Cowboys. You got a Florida State team that almost got dumped by a bandana in Boston College. Ohio State, we don't know anything. We're going to know something about Ohio State and Notre Dame. We got one big game there that's going to tell us something. Washington looks like they're a pretty good football team. Penn State looks like they're a pretty good football team. But we really don't know a lot right now, and I don't think anyone is like separating themselves like the 2019 LSU Bengal Tigers. I'm not seeing that right now. It seems like a free-for-all, and nobody seems to be playing really good football. What are your thoughts?
Having seen Michigan up close, I think the only question marks that remain on the team, they have a new kicker. Their old kicker was clutch. This kid's never had a big kick before. Be interesting if he gets put in a spot this year where he has to make one. Remember, they needed a kick to beat Illinois last year, and the kid came through. Their secondary has yet to be tested and probably won't be maybe even until November. So that, I think, will be curious if their secondary holds up. And they only have one wide receiver that I think scares you. Otherwise, they're a top 3 team in the country everywhere else.
Yeah.
I think Ohio State, outside of the quarterback, might have the best personnel in the country. I really mean that. I think if you took the quarterback off all the teams and ranked the rest of the roster, I think Ohio State's roster has more impact players than anybody else. But it'll be interesting this year, Tom. Ohio State plays 3 really good teams, top 10 teams. All 3 teams have a better quarterback than them beginning Saturday.
Beginning this week, yeah. And,
right.
And that might be the difference for Notre Dame. I actually like Notre Dame in that game. Yeah.
And Georgia, quite frankly, they're difference makers. They got a bunch of really good players. I don't know how many special players they have. They don't have a special running back. I haven't seen a special wide receiver yet. All right. Bowers is a difference maker. Their injured defensive player, Holland, I believe it is a difference maker. To me right now, Georgia's got 2 difference makers when in the past 2 years, Tom, they've had 12.
All right, let me finish where I started and go back to the broadcasters for a minute now, because I'm going to ask you 2 questions that hopefully I get an honest answer from you on. One you probably are going to steer away from a little bit. But first of all, who the hell is Tom McCarthy? And why do I want to watch him doing the play-by-play? Because wasn't Joe Davis?
Stop.
Is Joe doing baseball right now? Is that why Joe Davis isn't on there? Because he's very good. Joe Davis to me is very good.
Okay, Tom. Joe Davis works for Fox, and this is CBS.
Right.
Tom McCarthy is the play-by-play voice of the Philadelphia Phillies. He's very good. He's very funny. He also has done a lot of football in recent years for Westwood One. All right. Okay. And I will say, and this is not hype, because I actually told this to Tom's face the first time I saw him after he did this broadcast. He and Ross Tucker did the Dolphins-Bills playoff game on radio last year for Westwood One. It was the best radio broadcast of a football game I had heard in 10 years. It was outstanding.
I'm confusing Joe Davis with somebody else. Who did the game last year? Who did the CBS backup games last year? It wasn't Tom. Who was it? He's a Syracuse guy. No.
Was it Andrew Catalan? Okay.
The Syracuse dude. I can't remember who it was because it was a Syracuse guy.
Well, that narrows it down if you say
he was a Syracuse guy who went to school with Damon. That's why I knew. And I was like, I remember communicating with David saying this kid is really good. And now I'm drawing a blank.
So you'll get a fine broadcast.
Okay, good. Tom is good. I don't mind Ross Tucker. That's good. I thought that they were sending – it was whoever was doing it with Rick Neuheisel last year. I thought they were sending Rick Neuheisel out. I was surprised they left him in the studio because he did some games last year. I know some backup games for CBS. All right, the second thing is I've approached this delicately before.
Don't be delicate. It does not behoove you, by the way. It does not fit your personality and certainly not your demeanor today.
You don't think I have a soft touch, a delicate touch? I thought I had,
kind of like the front payloader on a dump truck. Yes.
There you go. So in that Russo Danielson really train wreck of an interview. It turned out to be just, it was Gary. Then he asked Gary, he says, wait a minute, who's playing Baylor? Gary's like, I think Oklahoma's playing Baylor on the ABC game. No, it's Texas playing Baylor. But anyway, Russo, after Danielson said that he was doing this Big Ten game, Russo then blurts out, oh, that's really nice. They're letting you go out on some Big Ten games. I'm like, what? I'm just saying, it made it sound like there was, like Russo had some inside information that Gary was bailing out after this year. I asked him that question at SEC Media Days, and he did not, he wasn't committal that I was going to, they absolutely 100% would be there next year. He said, we'll see. But that is a little bit of a surprising thing to hear Russo say they're letting you go out with some Big Ten games. That's nice. Your thoughts?
My thoughts are this would affect me because if he goes out, I go out. But my understanding is that he has multiple years on his contract.
Okay.
So,
all right. So he's looking forward to being all. He's like 73 or 74, isn't he?
I believe he turned 72 on September 10th.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's not bad.
So his birthday's the day before yours.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I want to wish him a happy birthday next year. My birthday, of course, shared with Bear Bryant and Tom Landry. So, as we know, great coaches born on September 11th.
Right. Yes. Yeah. It's good to put yourself in that.
Landry, Bryant, me.
Right.
Right. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you. Good stuff. All right, so you're going. So you're going to, where is it? Penn State.
When did you turn into Mad Dog Russo all of a sudden?
Iowa. Is it at Penn State or Iowa? I saw it both ways. It's at Penn State, right?
I am flying to Pittsburgh, and I'm driving from Pittsburgh. It's a lovely 2.5 hours, okay? And then I will fly from Pittsburgh to Tampa because we are doing first of the Monday Night Football doubleheader games. We have the 2-0 Bucks and the 2-0 Eagles.
Yeah, which is the better game. That's the sexy. And I'm glad that it's early because for those of us in the Eastern time zone, that game will be over by 9, and I can get in a rack.
Well, it'll be open about 10:15.
I'm sorry, the Central time zone. It'll be 9 in the Central time zone, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. 6:15 kick, 10:15, 9 to 15, 9:30 it'll be over. All right, man. I appreciate you. Good stuff. Be safe this weekend, and we'll chat next week.
You going to make it to the end of the show, Grumpy? All right?
I know we got to beat the big dog coming up next, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to get beat. So we'll see what happens.
One way or the other. I think you're right.
Yep. All right, man. Appreciate you.
All right. Be good, everyone.
David Moulton. All right. David Spring brought to us by North Alabama Mortgage. All right. So it is time for Beat the Big Dog. So I'll tell you what. Be caller number... I say caller number 4. Let's be caller number 4. 256-576-4977. 256-576-4977. Beat the Big Dog is next on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. but it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188, and you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
You'll love the expanded wine selection at Liquor Express. From special occasion to everyday table wines, they've got what you need. Meet your friends at the largest tap wall in Alabama with 105 rotating selections. Then take home a growler full of your favorite or choose from our 1,000 canned or bottled beers. Need help stocking your bar or planning your party? Liquor Express has a knowledgeable, professional in-house staff that can assist you with anything from your bar to the planning of your special event. Visit liquorexpress.net for tasting specials, giveaways, and classes.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Coming up this week on the High School Streaming Network.
Week 4 will feature a 7A Region 4 matchup over the airwaves as the undefeated Sparkman Senators take on the Grissom Tigers over on Zone 2. It's back to region play after a bye week as Madison Academy travels to Danville. Zone 3 will feature Randolph taking on Westminster Christian. And our game of the week over at Joe Davis Stadium will feature the Bob Jones Patriots taking on the Huntsville Crimson Panthers.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly to partly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid-80s, dropping into the mid-60s as we head into the overnight, early into your Thursday morning. Maybe a slight increase in cloud cover through Thursday afternoon. Going to be a fantastic day. Temperatures climbing into the mid-80s. We drop into the lower 60s through the overnight, early into your Friday morning. A partly sunny sky Friday afternoon. Temperatures hanging out in the mid-80s. It is going to be a beautiful Friday night for high school football. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Listen each Friday to the Woody Anderson Ford High School Football Scoreboard Show, powered by the Huntsville Sports Commission on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Eli Gold, voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Now more of the Thom Abraham Show on your home for Crimson Tide Sports, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Roll Tide.
And today's episode of Beat the Big Dog is brought to you by Alumni Hall. In Bridge Street is where you'll find Alumni Hall with all your Alabama and Auburn gear, from gifts to tailgating items to the coolest clothing. Alumni Hall, next to the Kona Grill, across from Connor Steakhouse, is where you'll find Alumni Hall. Look the part. Go to Alumni Hall. All right, I have been accused by some of you of trying to butter up the boss by having, Wes Neighbors as our guest picker today. And the reality is that Wes Neighbors is a celebrity on multiple fronts. One, outstanding talk show host here at 97.7 ESPN The Zone, but also a former All-SEC 4-year starter as an offensive lineman with the Alabama Crimson Tide. So I do not need to butter up the boss, all right? But it is good that the boss is joining us for this edition of Beat the Big Dog.
There are rules to success, my friend. Rule number 1 is know what you know what you don't know, and know that I gotta know everything you know as soon as you know it.
Yeah. And he's going to go against Bama Ace, who we haven't heard from in a while. Bama Ace threatened to get in, and he did. We just hope that he's not a lemon and playing for tickets to the Music City Bowl. Not the guest picker.
I don't know how to say this.
Don't be a lemon.
A little rude.
Don't be a lemon.
You're a lemon.
Don't be a lemon. All right. Wes, they're accusing me of trying to butter up the boss. I mean, do I need to butter you up? I don't need to butter you up, right?
No, there's nothing you can do to help you there anyway.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna blow me out, you're gonna blow me out, right? I mean, I'm good for that. About every 5 or 6 years, I'm coming up. My shelf life is coming up. You never know. So I'm not I'm not concerned about that. All right, and we got
you of that.
Some of our listeners are hitting the text window and saying, "Oh, you're just buttering up the boss," and I'm like, "No, because if I can beat your butt, I will." I mean, they're grumpy. My listeners are aggressive today. They're very angry about everything. Yeah, so I think it's all. Yeah, I think everybody's ticked off about Alabama's performance against South Florida. Maybe I don't know.
The best thing I saw on that it was a picture of Forrest Gump. It said just like that, Alabama forgot how to play football.
Just like that. They don't. And that coach has got to be on the hot seat. I mean, he doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, come on. I mean, Nick Saban. I mean, come on. I mean, obviously it was all Kirby Smart. I mean, that's it. It's not Nick Saban. He doesn't know what he's doing. But we'll see what happens. All right, Bama Ace is our listener that is going up against me with your help. Bama Ace, welcome to the show. How are you?
What's up, Big Dog West? How are y'all doing today?
They're fantastic. All right, so this is the way this works. We're going to alternate games, and Grizz the Greek will make his picks. Wes will make his pick, and then you'll get a chance, Bama Ace, after you heard those guys, to make your pick, and we'll alternate who goes first each time. So do you want to go first on the first game or the second game?
First game.
All right, remember, it is not tie to Big Dog. It's beat the Big Dog, so you can't just hug my picks, and that's why we alternate. All right, Grizz, we'll start with you, then we'll get Wes, and then we'll get Bama Ace in here. All right, Grizz, here we go. Let's start in order of the games being played. Florida State is a 2.5-point favorite at Clemson. What do you got?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Give me Florida State and big over Clemson.
So Florida State, big over Clemson, says Grizz. All right, Wes, what do you think? Florida State is minus 2.5 at Clemson.
So is Clemson ranked? What are their rankings?
Clemson is like, Florida State's 4, and Clemson's top 10, I think, or just outside of the top 10. Hang on, let me pull up the rankings here. I got to get all this stuff out of here. Clemson. Yeah, they're in there. Where's Clemson? Clemson is where the heck is Clemson?
It doesn't have them.
Clemson's unranked.
Yeah.
Wow. Clemson's 26. Yeah. They're right outside. Clemson is 26 on the AP. Yeah.
So I'm going FSU.
All right, so he's going FSU as well. All right, Bama A. So what do you think? You've got Florida State 2.5-point favorite at Clemson.
Noles all day.
All right, I'm gonna make that a clean sweep, which means it's probably gonna go the other way. But I'm on the Noles as probably. Well. The quarterback.
So if Clemson was ranked, I was gonna go with Clemson because 73% of the time, if two ranked teams play, you go with the home team no matter what the line is, as long as it's not over 10.
A home dog here in this case too. I mean, that's another telltale sign.
Yeah, that would be another. Yeah.
Of course, Florida State. Florida State struggling last week at Boston College, but maybe a little peek ahead. Maybe they're kind of thinking about Clemson more than we're thinking about Boston College.
Well, and you watch that game. Florida State had plenty of chances to put it away and just couldn't, and they fumbled the ball.
The fumble, yeah. All right, this game you guys go first. Grizz. Oh, wait a minute. No, I went first. This game I'm going first. All right, Ole Miss gets 6.5 at Alabama, and I'm just going to say, boy, if not here, I don't know when Lane Kiffin's ever going to get a win over a top 25 team, much less a top 15 team. They get 6.5. Jackson Dart is playing great. I worry about his running the ball. Ran for 136 last week against Georgia Tech. That's not Alabama, but still. And Alabama's throwing the ball for 106 yards a game. I think Alabama wins this game, but it's like a field goal or a 4-pointer. I think we're living in 1992. This is Gene Stallings' survive and advance type Alabama football, not the joyless murder ball that you people want. I'm going to take the 6.5 points with Ole Miss. Alabama wins, but they don't cover that. What do you got, Chris?
I saw it somewhere, but the margin of victory between Saban and Kiffin is like a 14-point margin of victory in the last few games they've played. So I'm going to take the Crimson Tide here.
Okay, Grizz, Wes, what do you got?
Well, two ranked teams going with the home team.
Right,
going with Alabama.
You're going to lay to 6.5. All right.
But it won't be surprised if Ole Miss wins this game.
Yeah. I won't be surprised if Alabama has to kick a field goal to win it. All right, Bama Ace, what do you got? Ole Miss gets 6.5.
Neil Rose should have never been taken out, and he had a bad game against a really good opponent. That should have been a learning lesson for him. He should have played against South Florida and knocked the brakes off of him. They tried to be cute, lost the locker room, but now finally gets them to get it back. So I got the Bama by at least 10.
All right, I hope you're right. I'll be happy to be wrong on that pick. All right, Grizz, Arkansas gets 17.5 at LSU. Arkansas off the loss to BYU. What do you got?
I'm gonna take the Hogs here on the road. Rivalry game will be a lot closer.
All right, what do you think, Wes? He's got the Hogs getting 17.5 at LSU.
Arkansas is just not a very good team. I don't think they have a chance against LSU. I'm going with the Tigers.
All right, LSU big for Wes. All right, that hook, that 17 and a hook is scary. All right, Bama Ace, what do you think? Arkansas plus 17.5.
I'm always going to take points against LSU. I think they have, besides the one team they played, they got their backside handed to them in the second half. So, not that Arkansas is great, but I'm not going to lay 17.5. So I'll take the Hogs.
Yeah, my fear here is backdoor cover, and I'm taking the Hogs with the 17.5, looking for a backdoor cover. I think that the Hogs stick one in late and get beat by 17, 14, something like that. It's a comfortable win for LSU, but the Hogs get a little backdoor cover on it. So Wes is out there on LSU here, the rest of us on the Hogs. All right, this one I'm going first. Auburn gets 7.5 at A&M. I'm just going to say this. Auburn... And I know the number looked impressive last week and so on. That game is 7-0 with 3 minutes to go. A&M is looking to, continue to get some pelts on the wall, continue to play better football. They have a better roster. I think they have a better quarterback. I don't think Auburn hangs here, man. I think Auburn wins this game, maybe even going away a little bit. I'll take A&M and I'll lay to 7.5 at home. Grizz, what do you think?
I'm go the opposite way. I think Auburn upsets them.
Outright? You think you're taking Auburn outright?
Yeah, I'll take Auburn outright.
All right, he says the wrong team is favored, Wes. What do you think? Auburn gets 7.5 at A&M.
Are either of these two teams ranked?
No.
I just think Auburn's way over match up front on both sides of the ball. I think they have the better coaches, and I think they'll get there, but not this week. I'm going with Texas A&M.
All right, Bama Ace, what do you think? You've heard both sides of it now. Auburn gets 7.5. Is that enough?
Auburn could get 17.5. It wouldn't be enough. So A&M.
He's going to take A&M as well. So we're all on A&M except for Grizz, who's got Auburn on that one. All right, and this one, you guys are going first. All right, Grizz. Ohio State is minus 3.5 at Notre Dame. What do you got?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really trust their offense. I like Sam Hartman to Notre Dame, but I don't know if I can buy into Notre Dame just yet. Give me OSU.
All right. Who? OSU? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So he's going to take Ohio State. All right. Wes, you got Ohio State minus 3.5 at Notre Dame.
Everything in the book says take Notre Dame.
Yes, because both teams are ranked. Notre Dame. Ohio State is 6. Notre Dame is 10, 9.
That makes me kind of want to pick Ohio State just on that, meaning that Notre Dame will probably cover. So I don't know. I'm going to go Ohio State. I just think Ohio State has a better total football team than Notre Dame.
All right, Bama Ace, what do you think? Ohio State minus 3.5 at Notre Dame.
I really like Hartman. I think that was a great transfer place for him to go to over that offense. But I'm going to go with slightly probably better talent, I think, and take the Buckeyes as well.
I'm telling you, man, this is a night game. Touchdown Jesus. Sam Hartman is lights out better than what Ohio State's rolling out there quarterback right now. Remember, this game was relatively close at the Horseshoe last year, and they didn't have this kind of a guy out there as they have with Sam Hartman. I think this is the first signature win for Marcus Freeman. I take Notre Dame to win this game outright at home against Ohio State. I got Notre Dame. All right, finally, last game. You guys wanted a college game instead of an NFL game. So I got a college game in here, and I got a college game that is going to be going up against the Alabama-Ole Miss game with audience. Colorado, Deion Sanders getting 21.5 now at Oregon. They don't have Travis Hunter. He's their best player on both sides of the ball. Maybe Shedeur Sanders better at the quarterback spot. But 21.5. Does Bo Nix and Oregon beat the brakes off of Colorado here? Wow, that's a lot of points. I'm gonna take the points. I don't like this at all. I don't like this pick, but I'll take the points to 21.5 at Oregon with the Buffaloes. Grizz, what do you got?
Yeah, I got to take Colorado here. It's a lot of points, and Oregon looked really bad against a Texas Tech team. So I think I'll take Colorado here.
All right, Wes, 21.5. Colorado gets at Oregon.
It's like they're begging you to bet on Colorado.
It started at 18. It opened at 18 and is bet up to 21.5 now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, moved a lot. Well, Travis Hunter being out and everything, but yeah, it moved quite a bit.
Well, I think you got to go. I think you got to go with Colorado.
Yeah. All right, Bama Ace, what do you got?
Clean sweep. Go Buffs.
All right, so in summation, we all like FSU. I've got Ole Miss with the points. Bama would have win. The three of you guys have Bama. I've got the Hogs. Grizz has got the Hogs. Bama Ace has the Hogs. West took LSU. We all took A&M, laying 7.5, except for Grizz. He took Auburn. You guys all took Ohio State. I took Notre Dame getting 3.5 at home, and we all like Colorado getting 21.5 at Oregon. All right, Wes, have a safe trip back to the office. Bama Ace, good luck with this thing, man.
Thanks, brother. You have a great day.
I appreciate you. All right, Wes. Appreciate you, too. Wes neighbor.
That's how he says bye. He hangs up.
Yeah, he just hangs up.
I put it back up. I was waiting for him.
Yeah. You're buttering up the boss. Am I buttering up the boss? Let me see how we are on opposite sides of LSU and the Hogs, Notre Dame, OSU. He and I are opposite sides on 3 games. So we're going to find out. Right now, nobody's getting money because we're all below the 500 mark. All right, let's get a break in there. We'll come back and final segment. Phone lines will be open. It's Thom Abraham Show, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Do you have discomfort in your legs? Varicose veins can affect not only how your legs look, but how they feel. Symptoms of varicose veins include pain, swelling, aching, heaviness, and fatigue. Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville can diagnose and treat your varicose veins with the latest minimally invasive techniques. Diagnosis and treatment is covered by most insurances. Call 256-715-7151 to schedule your free screening. Go to bestveincarehuntsville.com.
Our customers want best-in-class solutions. That's why we've recently added many new vendors like Zebra barcode printers. Our next level team has added premier automation solutions. We're not here to sell you just one product, and we love helping you find the right solution to your specific needs. That's what doing the right thing is all about, and that's why our customers have come back for over 50 years.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's
time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at GeneracSuperstore.com.
Injuries at work happen all the time in Alabama. So do motor vehicle and slip and fall accidents. If you're hurt at work or injured in an accident, I want you to call my good friends at Pond Lehocky Giordano. That's Pond Lehocky, Alabama's injury law firm. They got your back just like they've got mine. For personalized legal support, reach out to Pond Lehocky at 855-774-3838 or pondlehocky.com.
The representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
You want the right specialist for your recovery. At SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, we understand every body is different. Your muscles and bones are unique, as is your body. Our SportsMed specialists offer innovative treatments and minimally invasive procedures, allowing you to quickly return to the life you love. Locations in Huntsville, Madison, Athens, and Decatur, and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com. Improving performance, improving lives.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Listen to the Bama Recap Show each Sunday morning at 11, presented by Freedom Marine Center on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Thom Abraham Show. The anthem is brought to you by the service team at Woody Anderson Ford. Not only experts in the service of Ford and other makes, but also they're using genuine Ford and Motorcraft parts in every Ford service job. Doesn't matter if it's a tire rotation or wheel alignment or a brake job or an oil change or engine tune-up or training work. They do it all at the service department and the Quick Lane Tire and Auto Center. And just not only dependable service, but a great body shop as well. And don't forget about the certified gold pre-owned vehicles and the new inventory. It's all listed right there at WoodyAndersonFord.com, or just go down to the corner of Sparkman and Jordan Lane. Let's get LSU Lynch in here. LSU Lynch, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, man, Richard, I just want to say this. If you go back to the last 3 years and watch us play in Wild Piglets, 17.5 points, that's way too much. Way too much, even with this team. Because when you get time and you get off air and you get in your little private spot and everything, look at what's really going on. I mean, I just don't see us covering that. There's no way.
It's a lot of points. That's a lot of points to worry about. I mean, those games are usually pretty competitive. I was worried about, I thought Arkansas would beat BYU last week. I thought that was a bad loss. But they have a problematic quarterback to deal with. I just think they can hang, and it may be a backdoor cover. But look, at the end of that game, if I told you that you're going to win that game, 34-24, you'd be happy, right? You'd be like, okay, we beat them by 10, no problem. I think that's what it feels like to me.
Yeah, but Arkansas, they still score some points regardless. And
right.
If you look at some of their numbers and the positions that they're doing right now, they're having success. They're having some success. But I just think, and we don't really have a rivalry game, but what I would say, this is the only game that we play against a team that we have the boot trophy.
You got the boot.
We got the trophy that comes out of there. And the other thing is with Alabama giving up 6.5 at home, I hope that they, after that players meeting that they had on Sunday, I hope that they are standing up and getting challenged and getting ready. Because like you said, I still don't see this being Lane Kiffin year to beat them. So thank you for taking my phone call.
I appreciate it. And you tell it a tape, one of the things you're going to have to keep an eye on in that Arkansas-LSU game is the fact that Arkansas is very good against the run. They're only allowing 55 yards a game against the run, while LSU is out there running it for 192 yards a game. Something's got to give there. LSU's running it for almost 200 yards a game, and Arkansas is allowing 50 yards a game. So how is that going to come out? That's going to be the big question. Arkansas is running it for 151 yards a game, and LSU is allowing 130 yards a game. So it makes you think that Arkansas will get their yards on the ground. They'll get their yards on the ground. Now, LSU's got the 10th best passing attack in the country at 344 yards a game. But Arkansas is only allowing 200 yards through the air. And it's at night at LSU, which is worth more than the normal 3 points. That's a freaky place to go and play at night. That's why they want those games all at night over there. I used to say when I used to go down there that they play at night so nobody has to see how ugly the stadium is, because it is ugly. I mean, it's spooky ugly. You walk around that stadium. You've been down there, Grizz, for a game? You walk around that stadium.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 2018.
You walk around that stadium, and they used to have dorms, in there, and it looks like a prison cells. It looked like there'd be
like on top of
dead
you.
people.
It's like on top of you where you feel like it's a lot hot. You know how like most stadiums go out? It's like it feels like it's more like on top of you than going up.
Well, it's had so many additions too that it's all like disjointed looking. You could tell like, okay, that's where the original stadium was. Then they added that. Then they added that. Then they added that over there. I haven't been there since they built the new press box. But underneath the stadium is what I'm saying. The body of the stadium is old dormitories. And it looks like a prison underneath that thing. They look like old, like if you go in there, there might be like dead people or something. Spooky place. In the daytime, though, if they're playing during the day, it doesn't look nearly as intimidating. Plus, those LSU fans don't have as much time to get, greased up. All right, that's going to do it. Listen, I'm gone tomorrow. Grizz will take care of it. You'll have Steve Merrill. I'll be back for Football Friday. Until then, Paul Feinbaum is next. Then The Drive with Wes and Steve right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tired of the same old menu options everywhere you go? Then you need to try Metro Diner in Huntsville and Madison. The award-winning Metro Diner serves up signature dishes like their Charleston shrimp and grits, famous fried chicken and waffles with strawberry butter, and lots more.